Hi, this is Sandra from Taste of Belize with Caribbean Flavors. I'm excited today to share with you Belize's #1 recipe, and that is our Belizean rice and beans. If you've ever visited Belize, I'm sure you've had our rice and beans. And if you're of Belizean heritage, I'm sure you have had rice and beans. And for some people, this is a very difficult recipe to make. It's a very difficult thing to do, make rice and beans. So I'm here today to show you just a simple, basic rice and beans that you can make, and I guarantee you that it will be great. See you in the kitchen. All right, so we're now in the kitchen, and this is where it happens. Well, let me let you on a secret. The main thing about cooking rice is you have to have the right pot. You cannot have a pot with a thin bottom. The thicker the bottom of the pot is, the better it is. Because if it's too thin, your rice will definitely burn. And you also want to make sure you cook your rice on a low heat. You can start at medium until it starts boiling, but then make sure you keep it at a low heat. That's the main thing. So it gives the rice time to cook. All right, so let me show you what I have here. I have 3 cups of beans pre-cooked, and you want to make sure your beans is pre-cooked, not totally squashed, but you want to have some whole ones and some halves, not too soft, but you want to make sure it's cooked. I remember a friend of mine, her dad tried to cook rice and beans, and he put the rice and the beans in at the same time. Both were raw. Well, you know that was a disaster. So please make sure you pre-cook the beans, and they also have canned beans that are pre-cooked. You can use that. Here I have 3 cups of beans. I also have 5 cups of rice, and I added some water in there because we usually wash the rice before we cook it. So this is there, is part of the washing process. And I have 2 teaspoons of salt. You can adjust that to taste. For me, 2 teaspoons is great because beans, it really takes a lot to make sure beans is tasty enough. And if it's not, it doesn't have salt, you know, it's not right. So 2 teaspoons is good for this recipe for me. I also have a few laurel leaves or bay leaves that I add in. Sometimes I put in a little jalapeno or a whole habanero. It's all up to how you'd like to flavor your rice. But today all I'm showing you is the basics that I do. So let me put this on the stove, and then I can show you where we go from there. But as you see already, I told you it was going to be simple. All right, so give me a few minutes and I'll get to the stove. Okay, so I'm putting in the beans in the pot. And it comes with some liquid because, of course, this is pre-cooked beans. So yes, it does have in some liquid already. And now I'm going to add in my rice. Like I said, it's in water, so I've cleansed it. I'm going to put it in here. And you can feed about 10 people with this recipe that I have here. Get all of this out. And now I'm going to add my coconut milk, which is, I have 2 cups of coconut milk. I'm going to add my 2 teaspoons of salt. And I'll add my bay leaves. And at the beginning, I usually leave the top off just so that it can boil a little. And after it starts boiling, that's when I'll cover it, and then I'll completely turn the stove to its lowest point. So, and then I'll just leave it and test it every now and then. I don't have to add any more liquid to this because what I have in here is perfect for it. All I'll do is I'll use a fork. I don't like my rice too sticky. I don't want it too grainy, but I just want it nice and firm enough. Not firm enough, I mean. But I just want it nice and well cooked. So I leave that for it to boil a little. And then I'll show you what it looks like after the liquid has dried. So sometimes people have a problem with adding more liquid, or they think it's too dry, but this recipe here is perfect. You don't need to add any other thing. And if the cameraman can come closer to the pot, you will see that the water is a little bit above what I have in here. Okay, so that is enough. And let it boil a little bit. All right, and I'll show you what it looks like after we're done with this. Right back. All right, so this is after my rice has cooked for 45 minutes. And you might say that's a long time, but it's very low. You could keep it on for an hour or more if you like. Because there's no additional liquid, it's just going to cook through, and it's not going to get mushed away or anything like that. But it's just right. Very flavorful. This is really good. So this is basic and it's very simple. I'm gonna pour it out for so you can see what it looks like. All right, so my rice is finished, and I have this great bowl that I'm going to put it in. It will keep the heat and everything. It smells so good. Oh, this smells good. I even have a little bit of, some people like the burnt rice at the bottom. I even have a little bit of that there for those who like that, because some people love that. But like I said, it's very simple. I did not have to add anything else to this recipe, which is what makes it so simple. Because people get to, oh, do I have too much water? Is it too soft? No, this is just right. So try it out and let me know how it goes. You have a great day. This is Sandra from Taste of Belize with Caribbean Flavors. See you next time.